We are back at Visakhapatnam, and it hasn't even taken me, a week, and I have already created one massive rivalry. Yes, it's me against the entire Orange Army, and we're facing them pretty early on in the tournament. I mean, DC had such a large break now in between matches, and it's a day match. It's a day match versus SRH. What happened the last time in a day match when SRH played? Oh right, 286. It is all on the line tomorrow. It is a big match for me. It is going to be a big match for the teams. Look, if we take this back about 8 or 9 years ago, same venue, we had Akshar Patel bowling the last over. I think they required it was the Pune Super Kings or something like that. Who was the man batting? The legend, MS Dhoni. Do you remember that vintage Dhoni? 3 sixes, a 4 and a 2, I think, and he finished the match off, DC losing that one. Well, the other day we had some redemption, and this Sunday we are back and we are ready to give it to the Orange Army. Since this is a batter's game nowadays, let's just jump straight into that, because I mean SRH, most powerful batting, was beaten by probably their biggest, contender for the best batting side in the IPL, the LSG. SRH now comes to a pitch they're saying that the score should be around 200 to 10, economy rates for teams batting 10.34, which does give you about the 200 to 10 mark. But when SRH sees something like that, they see, the average score is 200, 210. They're probably going to go for the 250 mark. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, the DC, they've got a very complete bowling attack. SRH's strength, without a doubt, lies in their opening pair, Abhishek Sharma and Travis Head. I mean, the records that these two have are absolutely phenomenal. Last time around at this venue, Starkey didn't get too much movement, so that makes you think about Muhammad Shami perhaps, because he's also somebody who's very dependent on movement. He's much more of a seam bowler. So I think how those two bowlers are going to perform is going to have a big impact on the match. You've got NKR, you've got Heinrich Klaasen, Ishan Kishan. The top 5 of SRH can be devastating on their day. But I almost forgot, coming from you live here in my Elvis fringe and my pajama shirt, the battle between Mitch Starc and Travis Head. Now we all know that was a spicy one in last year's final. Interestingly enough though, Starc is actually more successful in T20 cricket against right-handed batters than lefties. And with SRH's top 3, all of them being left-handed batters, that should also be a very interesting aspect of the match. But they are also actually quite prone to collapses. When it works out damn well. When it doesn't, it just doesn't look too great. It kind of looks like baseball in a sense where you win a match by this margin and then you lose a match by that margin. Some people have mentioned bringing in a Vian Mulder. I am a South African. I'm not too sure about that as an option, because then what would have to happen is you'd have to leave out probably Adam Zampa, maybe. I don't know. Zampa is one of those players that if he's on song, he wins matches. He does it for Australia all the time. Ricky Ponting even goes as far as to say that if Zampa plays well, Australia win. If he doesn't play well, they lose. The other thing though is that on these pitches that might not offer SRH to go for that big 300 mark, they might need something in old-fashioned cricket called an anchor. Vian Mulder bats 3, or they've been trying to put him at number 3 in our test side. Can he be that guy? Can he anchor throughout an innings? Can they bring him in at number 3, 4? Can Nitish Kumar Reddy play that role? I think Nitish could play that role really well. Another option for SRH is Kusal Mendes, the wonder boy in test cricket over the last year or so. So they have some options. The thing is, will they change their team this early on in the tournament? I'm a believer that if you want to experiment, this is probably the time to do it. DC's batting. Look, the top order what was it, 30 for 3. I mean, and then it was like 50, I don't know, I can't even remember. I blocked it out of my head. A lot of batters failed. It can be a bit of a worrying sign for DC, but you know, clutch KL Rahul is coming back in. There's a huge expectation on him, by the way, but I mean, he's batted under serious pressure situations before, so this should be nothing new for him. I think him coming in just all out, you know, it rounds out that beautiful balanced batting lineup that DC can have. Middle order of DC, I think, is very destructive. You know, you're looking at Stubbs there, you're looking at Ashutosh Nigam the other night, so there's some serious power in there for DC. The reason also, I'm going to get to Heinrich Klaasen and actually Heinrich v Akshar. The other thing that why I'm saying that is because SRH's death bowling has not really been challenged. Okay, I think they conceded about 80 runs. Maybe they were complacent and they knew they were going to beat the Royals anyway, but still, you know, Zampa went for 22 and 1 over, I think. Harshal Patel is the other option, and then Paddy Cummins. They went for 80 runs in 5 overs, where DC the other night, I mean, their death bowling was actually probably the reason, next to Ashutosh and Nigam, why they won that match. 39 runs in 5 overs, 4 wickets. So the death bowling of DC, they've got some great options as well. You know, Mukesh got injured, but he's also an option there. Starkey, Kuldeep, I think, also bowled in the last 5. He also took a wicket, I think. And Mohit Sharma, you know, he's one of the best in the business, according to me. Great variations. So DC's death bowling, they feel quite set, but it's only been 1 match, and SRH's death bowling has not really been challenged. Now, the Klaasen factor. DC is very dependent on their spin attack. I was quite angry about the Stubbs' 28 runs the other night, but like I said before, if you want to experiment with things, maybe they had a plan and it didn't quite work out. But if you want to experiment with things, do it now. DC have the option of bowling 12 overs of spin. They didn't do it the other night. I'm not sure they're going to do it if a Klaasen is there, good and going. I think the slower, the medium pace bowlers could be a very good option against Klaasen, and Mukesh and Mohit Sharma, you've got them there. But Akshar, you know, Klaasen took him down in the World Cup. So there is that little match up there. Who's going to get the better of each other? If it's Akshar v Heinrich Klaasen. He got really unlucky the other night. I don't think I've ever seen in 25 years of watching cricket, like obsessively watching cricket, I've never seen a dismissal like that. So he's probably in for a big one. I think he's a big threat for me coming into that match tomorrow, especially because DC are so dependent on their spin attack. But Kuldeep has been in great form. So for me, that's the real... Although I think Klaasen strikes like 200 against mystery spinners. Goodness me, okay. It's my own boy there, you know. Head-to-head between these two teams is actually 13-10. So it's actually quite close for SRH. It's going to be an absolute cracker of a match. It's a day match as well, which, to be honest, I prefer because there's no dew. It means 2 teams going at each other, pretty much similar conditions. I'm told that because it's close to the coast, the pitches might not slow down, but I don't know, generally if it's a day match, would it take more turn in the second innings? They're saying that you should bowl first and chase. For me, I don't know if it's going to matter that much. Bowling first, batting first, both teams have great weapons in all departments. It's going to be about who plays the best cricket, and both teams are probably going to enjoy similar conditions. You know who I'm backing. My heart is so blue. It's the blue of Delhi. What do you think is going to happen in this match?